You know that mild panic when you're cooking a really expensive piece of meat? Like 1 minute too long on the stove and your $50 ribeye turns into a shoe.
Oh, yeah, it happens to the absolute best of us.
Right. But what if you could, hack the chemistry of beef to guarantee absolute perfection every single time? Welcome to this deep dive into the science of the perfect steak. We are pulling from culinary blogs, a comprehensive beef cookery guide, and a highly technical study on beef flavor volatiles today.
And our mission here is to give you the ultimate shortcut to steakhouse level perfection right in your own kitchen, which means we really have to stop guessing and start looking at what's actually happening to the meat on a molecular level.
So let's start exactly there.
Yeah.
The scientific study breaks beef flavor down into these specific volatile profiles,
Right.
which, just to be clear for everyone listening, are those airborne flavor molecules that travel up into our nasal passages when we chew.
Precisely. The study identifies specific volatiles categorized as brown or roasted, fat-like, and bloody or ceramy.
Bloody and ceramy.
I know, it sounds a bit intense, but the data shows something incredibly specific. When consumers rate a steak as highly juicy and tender, those ratings directly track with the intensity of those metallic and, bloody or ceramy flavor molecules.
Well, it doesn't sound super appetizing until you realize that's basically the exact definition of a great medium rare.
Exactly. And those specific juicy compounds are optimized at lower internal temperatures, specifically right around 58 degrees Celsius.
Which is your perfect medium rare.
Right. If you push that internal temp up to 80 degrees Celsius, which is well done, those delicate volatile compounds literally just break down and vanish.
Wait, so this actually brings up something that's been bugging me. Every chef on television for the last 50 years has told us to drop the steak into a screaming hot pan right away to lock in the juices.
Oh, the classic myth.
Yeah. But if we want to keep the center at that delicate 58-degree sweet spot, aren't we ruining it with extreme heat?
We really need to kill that myth right now. Searing does absolutely nothing to seal moisture inside the meat.
Wait, nothing at all?
Nothing. It is a complete fallacy. High heat triggers the Maillard reaction. That's a chemical reaction where amino acids and sugars on the meat surface crash into each other and transform into a dark, savory crust.
Oh, so it's about building those brown and roasted flavor compounds on the outside.
Exactly. It has zero to do with locking liquid on the inside.
Mind blown.
Okay, so if the intense heat creates the crust, but actually risks overcooking the inside and destroying our juicy, ceramy volatiles, how are we supposed to get both?
It's tricky.
Because a crusty outside and a perfect 58-degree inside seem completely at odds with each other.
Well, they are if you try to do them at the exact same time. That's why the reverse sear method is so heavily featured in the cookery guide.
The reverse sear, so you separate the two processes.
Right. First, you slowly cook the meat at a very low temperature, like in a warm oven, until the inside hits your exact target doneness.
Okay.
Then you take it out, get a skillet insanely hot, and sear it for just a minute on each side. So you're building the crust without giving the extreme heat enough time to penetrate and, ruin the center.
You've got it. But the crucial part is you can't just slice it immediately. You must let it rest under foil for 5 to 15 minutes.
Let's talk about that resting phase, actually, because it's so easy to skip when you're hungry.
Oh, absolutely.
Physically, what's happening to the muscle fibers there? Because heat makes them tighten up, right?
Yes. Heat causes the muscle fibers to violently contract. Imagine wringing out a wet towel.
Ouch. Okay.
The fibers squeeze all their internal moisture out toward the edges of the steak. If you cut into it right then, all that liquid just pours out onto the cutting board.
Right, we all done that.
But as it rests and cools slightly, those muscle fibers relax. They expand and literally draw that moisture back into the center of the meat.
Wow. And then, once it's rested, you slice against the grain.
Always against the grain.
Which visually makes sense. You're taking a bundle of tightly wound ropes and cutting directly across them so they immediately fall apart in your mouth.
Exactly, instead of making your jaw do all the heavy lifting.
But the culinary blogs take it a step further with compound flavors, like a French steak au poivre with a cognac cream sauce.
Oh, delicious.
Or steak butter loaded with garlic, Worcestershire, and lemon juice. Is there a scientific reason we're throwing acid, like lemon or cognac, onto this perfectly cooked beef?
It's absolutely crucial for flavor balance. Remember those fat-like volatiles we mentioned earlier?
Right, the heavy ones.
Yeah, they are incredibly heavy on your palate. If you just eat rich fat and umami, your taste receptors get completely overwhelmed.
Flavor fatigue.
Exactly. An acidic element acts as a chemical palate cleanser. It slices right through the richness, essentially resetting your mouth so your 10th bite tastes as vibrant as your first.
That actually explains why leftovers often taste a little, dull.
Yeah.
Speaking of leftovers, the guide has strict rules here too. Refrigerate within 2 hours.
Standard food safety.
Right, but the reheating method caught my eye. A gentle 250-degree Fahrenheit oven with a splash of broth. Why the broth in the low heat instead of just, microwaving it?
Well, it goes right back to how muscle fibers react to heat. If you microwave a steak, you're flash heating it.
Oh, so the fibers violently contract again.
Exactly. They squeeze out whatever moisture is left. By using a 250-degree oven and a splash of broth, you're creating a gentle, steamy environment.
That makes so much sense.
It warms the fibers slowly so they don't seize up. That keeps the meat tender enough to repurpose into, say, a gourmet steak fried rice or a Mediterranean salad.
It all comes back to treating the chemistry with respect. You are now officially armed with the culinary science to bypass the expensive steakhouse and craft the ultimate cut of beef right in your own kitchen.
And hopefully save a little money in the process.
Seriously. But it does leave you with something to chew on.
Pun intended.
Definitely. If a temperature swing of just a few degrees can completely alter the chemical identity of beef flavor, what other everyday ingredients in your fridge are hiding entirely different flavor profiles, just waiting for the exact right